Well, a lot of y'all didn't like last chapter, huh? What's up, guys? That guy with a pencil here. Fun fact, Newman 2, have it on me and keep it on me at all times. Another fun fact, golly! I probably should have figured people work out like last chapter, but like, man, a little bit of cope. A little bit of cope. You can like last chapter. I mean, to be fair, I get it. Especially in comparison to the end of part 1, I get it. But golly, but enough about last chapter. Let's not waste too much time. Let's hop right into chapter 230. I can't even say the chapter title. Chapter 230. Freakiness and selection. Okay, let's see. Then he's like, okay, you laughing, but I gotta have them draw. No, I'm kidding. Let's see. Why did you think I'd avoid a dove? That is a good question. In fact, I want to know how he consciously threw that up. Because when did he last eat a dove? Like, especially with, actually, was that dove confirmed to be Lil D or not? I don't think so. Actually, no, because was that dove Lil D? I feel like this was meant to be confirmed last year. I don't remember. Let me see. Hey, what about the freakiness? Okay. Now, I will still say this. I do agree with the more charitable interpretation of last chapter that Denji went to get the freak on, mainly because he's still trying to, like, talk Yoru down, if it were, despite, possibly trying to talk her up into something. No, trying to talk Yoru down and be like, well, let's get her as far away from the idea of this battle and her perfect world and this, that. Let's just rip her as much as possible and ultimately try to tug and pull on her human emotions as much. Because right now, Yoru is not only necessarily unbeatable, but also, realistically, she's the reason Asa is alive, / holding Asa hostage. So Yoru goes, Asa goes, then he doesn't want that. So it is still, I mean, like, part of me wants to go, kind of crazy for him to completely scapegoat the question. But at the same time, it's clear that Yoru is still at least somewhat locked into the battle. So I get why Denji's like, let's not talk about the dove. Let's keep it pushing. But I genuinely forget. Let's see. Answer me. Oh, okay, but it's okay. So it's not as much of a distraction to completely get it away. Let's see. One of my friends was this nasty D who tried to slaughter me whenever she got. Okay, so yeah, the dove was probably Lil D then. Cause like how does that word still, like, what does that mean in the context where Lil D doesn't exist? Right. I mean, like what if there is, like there are some words that are defined by other words. Slaughter, kill, execute. What do any of those words mean in a world without death? I feel like they lose, like dismemberment technically still has meaning in a world without death because you can still be dismembered and be very much alive. Stabbing, unloading, firing, like all those still make sense because those things can happen. You can still very much be alive. But to like what? Let's see. Was this nasty dude trying to slaughter me whenever any chance she got? But she had a soft spot for animals. Oh, power. Oh, Fujimoto. You know what? I give Fujimoto credit. I at this point, I do give him flat out credit for the restraint, dog. Because the way that people have been itching and scratching and feeding for at least a power return. Well, it's not necessarily just a power return. Really, Reize. A lot of people, especially, like, I think the Reize arc movie coming out got people's hopes up because Fujimoto was talking about, man, I have no idea why the creator of this series booed Reize. He didn't just let Denji and Reize live happily ever after, like Fujimoto did write the series. But at that same time, a lot of people are hoping, oh, maybe that's a hint that she'll come back in the main manga. But I just don't think that's going to happen. And to that, I say shout outs to Fujimoto's restraint for keeping Part 1 characters Part 1 and as a part of Denji's past in history. That is shockingly rare in the storytelling industry where characters who gone stay gone. And of course, Power and many other characters from Part 1 should technically have ways to return in some way. Power wouldn't return as herself. Same thing with, like, Aki, who perished as, like, the the Spagooter fiend, so like he wouldn't return properly, and obviously, you know, Spagooter, at least the major part of Spagooter, specifically refused with their mother. So like there's no real way Aka can come back. But for Reize, a character who should be alive, it is weird that she hasn't shown up, because she should have her memories, right? Like other Part 1 characters have showed up that are weapon hybrids, but like I don't think Fujimoto forgot. I think Fujimoto's just not interested in letting Denji be that kind of happy. I think the point of Denji is to make progress, unfortunately, and progress does include that loss. But it is nice to see that loss, the pain, the suffering, the agony, the despair, insert sad adjective here, that Denji has gone through. Or I guess sad adjective and or not. All that, it still defines him. And look at that. But she had a soft spot for animals. I hoped you'd be like her. And see that? I hate being sick. Oh, my nostril. Hold on. There we go. Sorry. But that, admittedly, a tad naive, a tad short-sighted, a tad simple-minded, that hope deep in Denji's core, in the humanity of those who are inhuman, right? The belief that as long as we can communicate, as long as we can connect, as long as we are, there still is hope for us to reach and understand. Oh, there's a big thing in last week's review that I didn't want to quickly cover. Now I'm talking about this. Other people did point out that I may have been going a little bit too broad with Yoru, and that she specifically understood like general emotions and guilt and stuff like that, but she just didn't understand the birds, and by proxy Asa's guilt, as in her perspective they were nothing, right? So I may have been like broad spanning too far. I kind of like my interpretation. Like, she didn't understand anything, but notably, specifically for her character and her character development, the proper interpretation, that I will just flat out say is the proper interpretation, which you guys brought up, the idea that she didn't understand Asa's guilt and the birds' guilt for doing things that they basically need to do to survive and maintain themselves. It's fundamentally different from the way of the D. That is very, very important. That is probably the proper interpretation, not the one I had. And because of that, yo, we're cooking with gas, and that does fit even more specifically. It slots, the thing is, with my big, broader perspective, it's kind of like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole that's big enough, like a large enough round hole you can put anything in. That's kind of like what I was doing. Y'all found that perfect round piece, slid it in there, perfectly fits into Yoru's character. Shoutouts to y'all. Y'all were correct. Let me see. No, but back to Denji real quick. That human hope, right? That against all odds, against the impossible, that a D like Yoru would be like a previous D who understood humanity. Even like Pochita, right? The D that is Denji's heart, all of that. That hope, that desire, that ultimately Yoru would be. I'm kind of scared. I'm getting flashbacks of, hold on. I'm gonna do something just to save myself some trouble later. I'm gonna do this. And I'm gonna check each page ahead. Because it just, like, what this chapter is called. I doubt. Being a little bit too far, even for Fujimoto, I think, but still, I don't want to risk it. But still, I do love that Denji's, at his core, because Denji, as much as he's changed and developed as a character, despite how a lot of people say he hasn't changed at all, he still has that human hope. Based on, once again, the experiences that he's had with people in the world. That is it's very sweet to see. Now, the question is, will his gamble have paid off? Because my even question for last week's review was, do you think he'll be able to save them both? Save Yoru and Asa? And a lot of y'all did think he was going to save both. But of course, this will be the main question of if he can. If that human hope was put in the right spot. But before we get too freaky, I'm going to start checking the page ahead. So let's see. Okay, we're good. Nothing bad here. Let's see. Why? Oh, for a moment there, I thought I hadn't unmuted. All right, thanks. Why? Why did you hope I'd be like her? Oh. Because I was lonely and wanted a friend. Maybe. And you know... Oh, Fujimoto, my heart. My baby boy. He's not a baby boy anymore. My baby boy. But and it is truly the tragedy of Denji, right? Especially if you go with the idea that this was a spur of the moment thing, right? Like, this wasn't even anything long planned, but I hope you'd be like her in that moment. Because you're specifically asking about, hey, why'd you think I'd spare that dove? It is the idea that Denji's been in a constant cycle of loss.
and gain and loss and gain and loss. It just never stops. He's been eternally looping in this cycle. And when finally meeting someone who could possibly transcend that cycle, right? Nagisa couldn't, Power couldn't, Aki couldn't, Makima couldn't. And that was by Denji's own hands. Kishime just left with the milk and never left for the milk and never came back. Like, all the different people that Denji's connected with in life. Heck, even Yoshida. All these characters who have appeared and disappeared, they've all left him. And Denji, as much as he is happy to have Bushido as his heart, he is a lonely being, a lonely soul. So it is great seeing him admit, I have nothing. I have nothing. And you seem like something I could reach out to. So why not try? I get it, Denji. That's beautiful. Let's see.
And wanted a friend, maybe.
Okay. Let's see. You know what, though? I'm going to be like, Denji. But. Big, maybe I should say, I always go back to whatever I say but maybe I should say in this context, considering what we may be able to do. But, big, bodacious, booty, butt, cheeks. What is that? It's not BBBBC. But BBBBC. I'm gonna read it. Let's go. Let's get to the whole page. Let's see. You're fine with just being friends?
I want a friend I can get freaky with.
You really are a freak-obsessed ape. No, she's kind of into it though. Look at her blushing and smiling. But I was initially gonna be like, Denji, really, but like, let's be honest. Even if it ain't you, if you live in the modern day, you know somebody who ain't really in a relationship, but they got a physical relationship, if you know what I'm talking about, with someone that they consider homies. Now, me personally, and this is just due to how I was raised and stuff like that, I'm not like, it's changed. It's a change, man. I go with it. If we've laid together, we just ain't friends. Like, that's not normal anymore. I personally have never really gotten the concept of friends with benefits because it's weird. It's a little bit much. A little bit, like, I don't know, man. I can't. And then, like, if you know what I'm talking about, I can't do that. I can't. It's at least not for me. But I do know multiple adult friends. Let me think. Yep, male, female, non-binary. Of the lesbians I know, and the gays I know, none of them. But specifically of the I know multiple who do have more casual relations. Let's say it's not the craziest thing out there in the modern day. I don't vibe with it. Once again, there's a lot to do to my raising, my perspective on things, this, that, and the third. But generally speaking, it'd be like that when it'd be like that, I guess, especially when it'd be like that. So, I'm not even gonna knock Denji for it. I was gonna be like, dude, man, really? But still going with the idea that he wants to connect with Yoru, and this is his honest way of connecting with Yoru while also distracting her from any sort of, like, actual violence. I mean, it works. It works. And it's true. And, like, you may be like, well, remember, Pencil Man, this was set in, like, the 1990s. They were even freakier in the 1990s. Well, you know what they were doing. Look up the average spread rate in the 1990s. Of course, you know, because education wasn't as good and this, that. But look at the average rate of spread of a certain type of illnesses about smooth 30 years ago. What? People weren't even friends and they were getting down and dirty with it. So I'm not even, like, Denji knows Yoru at this point. They've already got a little bit of freaking in general. So, at least he's being honest. At least I'd rather he be honest than lie. Let's see. You really are a freak-obsessed ape. Oh. Okay. Oh. All right. Nice. All right, let's see. I hate Chainsaw Man, but I like you, Denji. Aww. So See, and that is like, I think this is genuinely Yoru speaking. So I do like that. Yoru, this is once again, it really depends on how much stuff we have left in Chainsaw Man. That's really the question. But in this case, I hate Chainsaw Man, but I like you, Denji. Yoru has finally reached, I'd say, the culmination of her character, right? That idea where she has this fundamental belief, this idea that she just can't get rid of. She hates Chainsaw Man. As much as that hate, maybe sprinkled in with a little bit of something. Like, no matter what, she doesn't like Chainsaw Man. But she fully, wholeheartedly admits that these feelings that once she may have tried to blame on Asa's own weird mentality, this, that, and the third, all to make Denji a weapon, this, that, and that. No, she just likes him. Right? As freaky, as next level, as cuckoo bonkers as Denji can be. I can't even say can be. As Denji is. Let's not sugarcoat it. She likes him. And to see her admit that, that's very nice. That's very sweet. Right? She's like, no. I mean, I like at the end of the day, she can't do it. She's not going to end Denji. At least seemingly. Let's see. We're only on page 5. Let's call a temporary truce. Alright? Pour whoever juice that is. Let's see. Scoop some of it up. Brings it right over to Denji. Slurps it up. Let's see. I knew that. This is that super. This is. I mean, to be fair, it was in the title, but do I got to voice act this? We're subbing out. You know what's happening. You know what? I can't even. You know what's happening. Let's see. I mean. You ever heard the phrase "thick thighs save lives"? I can't think of a rising. Like, I don't want to say that, but like, I mean, I'll let you get freaky with me. Asa gives her consent too. W consent. That's I like, and this is a big thing, right? Especially with I personally believe do whatever you want with whoever you want, as long as you are both two consenting adults. I do mean adults. Like I mean, whatever. The internet's weird, but like, if you are too fully, do whatever you want. I don't want to hear about it. Well, that's what we don't. Because admittedly, I have too many friends who are more than willing to talk about it, and I have listened because I am just a person who likes to listen, and I'm always there for my friends. So I've had to listen, but I wouldn't even say don't tell me about it. But in the same way, as long as you are two full-grown consenting adults, and you don't make it my problem, it's not making my issue. Sure. And hey, Asa gives her consent. So, and Yoru and Asa are both down for this. So, clapping cheeks literally saved the planet. Literally saved the world. Is Lil D still gone? I mean, like, well, Lil D may be gone, but Big D's up if you know what I'm talking about. But, like, I mean, it worked. Creation is saved. All it took was the Diz, the Denji Riz. It is very funny how like she's looking down on Denji as she says this, but then like she turns her eyes to her ears, almost. I was just like is Asa standing right there being like, go for it, go. But y'all gonna let him heal first, right? And maybe like de-transform. Y'all want the saw beat? I don't think y'all want the saw beat, but I mean, to each their own. Hold on, let me check though. Let me not. I'm so. Bro, he said, he threw that from, he didn't throw it from the 3-point line. He didn't throw it from the logo. He didn't throw it from behind the logo. He threw that thing full court. Green. Hey, this is why they say This is why they say you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Please don't get freaky on this. I need to be able to show the rest of the chat. Please. Please, I'm scared. But, bro, the chainsaw, the Denji man literally melts off of him, bro. Look at this man. He's like, I mean, and you know what, though? Like I said, how old is Asa? How old is Asa? Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. We don't know. I'm gonna assume she's 18. And we're going with it. We're gonna go with it. Because Denji's what, like 19? He's like 19? I don't think he's 20 yet. Denji? 16, 17, 18. Oh, he's 18 in the timeline. Alright. I'm assuming they're both 18. Two full grown consenting adults plus multi-million millennia, as old as humanity itself, or as old as war itself, type creature. Oh. He's like dripping for him. But hey, he's getting what he wants. Now I know I need to check. Okay. What? Multiple other insect Ds? Alright.
Heck yeah!
I can't blame him though. Let's just say I can't blame him though. But even Asa, yours like, really? But like, where y'all had to ruin the moment? Oh wait. Oh, that's the bike. I was about to say like, wait, is this form still on the ground? No, but look. Everyone's like, that's what y'all can't watch. Go away. Go. I don't care how many eyes you got. Go away. Let's see. Why? What is what? 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, 5. Where'd you all come from? Let's see.
Heck yeah!
And thus, the journey that Denji's been waiting so long for has finally reached its climax, if you will. Let's see. Okay, I mean, maybe the rest of the chapters. Maybe I don't have to keep doing it. but I have the second page open. Alright. Yeah. There's a bunch of random insect Ds. At least I'm assuming these are all insect Ds. Yo, Buzzwole, what are you doing here? Oh wait, is this is this Locust again? Locust come back? I mean, to be fair, it can die. But he didn't spit it up. Maybe a different bug than Locust. I don't know. But alright. What was it called? What was the chapter called? Freakiness and selection. Well, no, natural selection? What is it supposed to be? Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna be safe for this episode. Oh, what is happening? What are all these D's? Well, I mean, you know the thing is though, I was asking why on earth is Loki super buff, but I guess the same reason Loki is super buff is why all insect D's presumably will be super buffed. I mean, I'm not even sure if some of these are insect D's, but now technically with Lil D being gone, because I'm fully convinced that the dove was not Lil D, it's just the dove. I don't know when he ate it, still, but regardless, a dove. But in that case, anything that was once feared but could at least be taken care of relatively quickly, like an insect, can't be taken care of anymore. At all. So they probably are super giga buffed. I don't know why they came to Yoru and Denji in particular. Maybe to like execute Denji just to make sure he can't spit Lil D back up, I guess. But it seems like it's having bad effects, considering these are places all over the world seemingly being consumed by insects. Let's say. Oh. Ooh, bat? Oh, wait. Okay, hold on. That's a bat? I didn't realize that. All right, hold on. Let me see. India Fumiko, reporting in. This is bad. Really bad. A buttload of bats are devouring people. Oh, yeah, and they're all alive. Yeah. Yikers. All right, let's see. Canada Fumiko, reporting in. Massive insect swarms are eating folks over here, too. Okay, interesting. I guess if you, like... I guess because brutalization still exists. I'm not sure that shots or bats are going for it. I don't think bats have the same, like... Will literally just... Unless all the life is squished out of the insects do. But I guess, of course, the D's are emboldened now. They have nothing holding them back. No fear of nothing. But, man, why not wild out? And, of course, the bats and the insects attacking in mass will only increase the fear of humans, of the respective things attacking them, making the bats and insects and the respective D even stronger. So it is like a consistent feedback loop. So, yeah, maybe there's XP from them right now. Let's see. Even folks too. Oh, wait, let me see. Why is this happening? The higher the species' fertility, the more of its offspring get culled at birth. However, because lives now have... Okay, so yeah, that dove was not Lil D. Let's see. However, now because lives have no end, natural selection is... so that's why they have to call selection. Natural selection is no longer in play. All offspring now live forever. From now on, to fuel the reproduction, will be eaten alive in little pieces, and continue to live in pain and despair as flesh and blood of bugs and beasts. Hello? Are you listening? Oh, darn. Got eaten immediately. Huh. Yeah? I guess you never would think about that. Like how quickly it would happen. To be fair, supernatural universe. But yeah, that does make sense. Now just looking to the back. And especially considering what? Like, let me look up gnats in particular. How long do gnats live? How long do gnats live? I need to spell it with a G. Gnats. Not gabats. Gnats live. Adult gnats live around for 7 to 10 days. Okay, but still, dude, what is the shortest insect? What is the shortest insect lifespan? The mayfly has the shortest lifespan. An insect is wing less than 5 minutes and lay eggs less than a year more. Okay, but still, that's when they're adults. But still, I guess it does make sense. And with so many of them, how do you realistically stop them? Especially if you can't put them down. Like, you would have to atomize every one of them. And even then, they'd still technically be alive. But clearly wasn't enough to stop, I'm assuming, India Fumiko from getting devoured. But let's see. Ooh. Alright. Let's see. Last year, when we Fumikos all gathered in the villa, we talked a great deal while gazing at the fireplace. I was surprised we all had different worst fears, even though we're all Fumiko. Other Fumikos answered with fears like sickness, people, and war. At the time, I couldn't decide mine. But now... gonna be devoured by roaches? Oh, yeah. But, I wonder, are any of these the original? Because I'm assuming the reason they all have different fears is because of the different environments they grow up in, and also the original people that they once were, right? Because we know that the way Fumikos create more Fumikos is by... Speaking of natural selection, like, technically, for all those purposes, they would probably have, because they're different base fundamental people, right? So in that case, I guess it would make sense. And now the roaches are gonna get their nibble on. Let's see. Gotta stop reading the page. Alright, let's see. So many of them. Denji, we're too low on juice. We need to flee. I mean, you could just eat them. I mean, one-shot them, nibble on them. Let's see. Denji! Oh, wait, Asa's back. Hey! So, I guess he did save both, and now Asa at least has some control. Let's see.
Like heck, we're gonna run away. Right, Pochita? We're finally gonna get our freak on. The dual parts of manga. 20 plus chapters, yeah!
This guy does look like one desperate to get his freak on. Let's see. Oh, that's funny. But see, this is the... I don't know. I feel like that is a little weird. I guess that could just be like conceptual weirdness, though. But, yo, Denji's built. But let's see.
If you're gonna get in our way, then...
Obviously, you'd say, then die, but... Huh? How's it go again? And he's about to get blitzed in one tap by one of these things. So yeah, they essentially, even if instinctually, the D's have come specifically to take care of these two, because they're like, oh, well, he could spin up death again, and that would drastically nerf us. But, overall, I ended up doing the double chapter thing just because I had to do it before the reviews, because, man, Fujimoto's a creature, alright, but, that was weak. Hold on, let me do that again. There we go. But W chapter. I like it. And let me go into why. Number one, as I know, some people are gonna be like, oh no, they said the bad final battle number is all over the two main characters getting. Honestly, best way for this battle to end. And you may be like, whoa, what? The battle was never gonna end with punching and kicking, right? Especially with Lil D as the win con being removed, like intentionally removed by Denji and Pochita. It was never going to end in any sort of satisfying way through combat. So, a mutual resolution between the two characters involved in the combat, realistically the four characters, but the two characters involved in the combat, good. I'm glad. Chainsaw Man is still a story about characters, so I'm glad the battle ended in this way. For Yoru and Asa to come to this conclusion, very funny. And for, especially for to critique Denji about the whole friends with benefits thing, very funny, but still, it's real, right? And unfortunately, if you don't like that it's real, womp womp, it's real. I feel bad in the womp. Literally, womp womp. Like, it just happens. So, I'm not gonna knock them for being two consented adults. Very good. So I do like that. I like the character resolution, I like how excited Denji is. Number 3. If we were going to get a continuation or a further elaboration on the, Lil D not existing anymore thing, I'm glad we're getting to see it on the grander scale. We're using Fumiko, a character we have at least some understanding and connection to. And also, we're getting to see the world properly react to it, right? Because one of my complaints with Asa, Yoru versus Chainsaw Man / Denji Man, was the idea that, well, it's happening, and like we can somewhat see the effects of a world without death, but it's not as grand, it's not as like world altering or like creation altering as I feel like it should be. But we're now starting to see that, which is very, very good, and it is exciting to see how ultimately, presumably, they're going to have to reintroduce death. Like, I don't see Chainsaw Man Part 2 ending with them letting death be, or like Denji never throwing them back up. I think Chainsaw Man is going to be a story about accepting death and the inevitability of the end of life as a necessity, because as it is right now, they presumably still don't have a real way to win unless Denji starts eating more and more, which will presumably only cause more and more damage. So overall, a W chapter. But if you haven't always seen this video, please do me a favor and leave. Instead of friends with benefits, leave freaks with benefits. You know why I said it. Leave freaks with benefits in the comment section down below. And the thing is, what you're watching, remember to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure that link to notification bells so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, you can have a page down below where you support me for as long as one things, exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member of the channel for as long as 3 hours a month to get the same perks and more. Those perks include the live reactions, we have the series I am to review, ad variations of all my videos, early ad-free access to all my videos, not just all videos for this channel, but all videos on the second channel that called Reaction, link in the description down below, and in the card in the upper right? Why am I why am I right? Wait, why am I dumb? There we go. Card in the upper right. That's all that. You get your name at the end of every single video. If you're a $3 member or $3 patron or higher, you get your name listed and read aloud at the end of every single video. On top of that, I do a link to my Ko-Fi in the description down below, which I'll find me a short video, 20 videos, a long video, or any beans at all. Any support is always greatly appreciated. And my Twitch down below. That guy with the controller. Stream every Friday, 8 p.m. EST. We have a good time. We have a fun time. Feel free to roll through. But I want to thank you so much for watching. Once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is that guy with the pencil, writing off. Alright, lady, thank you to our sketch tier members: Eternal Flame, Red Wolf 4765, Astro, Glacier XZ, Zera, J2MA, Buddha Ura, Yuki Ally, Grim, Ollie, The Boy, Corey Watson, Damon Brown, Dino, Hector Gonzalez, Tim Thomas, Kaving, RXN, Logan Guzman, Dead Meme, Keon Stewart, Donovan McIntosh, Hamza Idrisi, BNA DNA, Edwin Ingbignoba, Straw, Athenzi Shear, Antavius Mitchell, Superflame Zero, Weary Exile, Window Life, Alex Kenny, Todd, The Practical One, Landon Clapwick, Heath Nelson, CAET, Funny Dude, Jagoda, Plant Crone, Striker Man, Brandon Payne, Black Sage, Multi-Batman Superman, Zalims, Sheesh King, Joe Bean, Aswin Harry Placetia, Sleepin' John, JMD KD, The Young Family, Pastel Pandora, Sino King, NMA, Karina Hernandez, Mo City King, DKG, Andrine Bonnet, John Malcolm, Akolare Babatunde, ASD 1234, Jesse Clapp, CCC, Ramondo Furin, Sky XT, Victor Jacobs, Axis XC, Osen Tebwick BDM, Kingly, @JDog2656, and Union I. Then I'd like to give a thank you to our line art tier patrons, A+A, Dread Zoen, Karina Hernandez, Kevin Encarnacion, Lil Kodo, Midnight Lord 21, and Sean. Then I'd like to give a thank you to our Inc. tier members, King RTX, Shrimpo the 4th Shrimp 06, and Zom. Then I'd like to give a thank you to our digital art tier members, J Warrior and AZ Void. Then I'd like to give a final thank you to our colored art tier patrons, Walkie Munoz, and Ernesto430.